A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return.
And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Ready, set.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on 4th, didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense, because anytime anyone goes for it on 4th down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride to the offense this go around. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw.
They'll set up a screen to Charbonnet.
A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
Good call there on 1st down. And Brandon, I'm getting better over the years. They're not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
From the 38 now, here's a 2nd down and 4.
Let's go. Ready.
He'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
Touchdown, Seattle.
Tommy Trimble, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Seahawks are on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And that one not returnable, not by a long stretch, over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 35-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
Get it to the horses.
Without a doubt, they're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
In runs like that with explosiveness, that's what this rookie can bring to the table.
And add to it speed, patience, vision. A rookie has all of that. That's usually a veteran's combo play. I love this guy.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down.
Quick throw into the hands of Pittman.
A gain of 5. And that'll make it 2nd down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5. On the Seahawks 13-yard line.
Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Jalen Warren, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from evening this one up.
A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line of the end zone. So this ball will come out to the 30 now.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
On the give, here's Charbonnet.
And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
You look at this Steeler defense.
They come into this one ranked number 17, so just starting the bottom half of the league against the pass.
Definitely going to need to be physical with these receivers, whether that's right at the line of scrimmage, trying to jam them and bump them off their routes, or when the ball arrives and you go ahead and put your shoulder into it and try to knock it loose.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
That's a 49-yard punt, 8 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Four receivers to keep tabs on here. 3 of them to the right side on 2nd and 5. Here's Love again. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
67 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start.
41-yard line.
Throwing is Wilson.
On the RPO, he'll keep it himself.
Gonna look deep for Wilson. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Roman Wilson.
59 yards. And the Steelers have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Boswell good with the extra point. And that makes the score 14-7.
Chris Boswell to kick off for Pittsburgh.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here.
35-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out when they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Well, last game he had 2 sacks, got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield.
And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down.
Ready?
We'll see where they go for this play call. Obviously tough in this spot, backed up.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. Warrior 17.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
This one incomplete. Probably should have been picked. A little nonchalant with the throw to the safety valve, but it's 4th down.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Now Wilson going to change things up here.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. They took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Play action. Now Wilson. He finds his man. Complete. It's Wilson.
Down the left sideline. He may go.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Roman Wilson.
2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, still in the 1st quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
2nd quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football, as they've got it as we resume action. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
So often when we're watching a football game, we see one with a lot of ebbs and flows, and this one is no different. And sometimes you just need a big play to wake you up a bit. And they get one right there. That shot of caffeine this offense was looking for.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
A good yardage there on 1st down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Got it. Ready?
From the 24 now, here's 2nd and a yard.
Ready? Ready?
And now a handoff to Charbonnet.
And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
And they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
Back to throw here.
And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Good defensive call right there, because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route, and he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
2nd and 10.
18, 5 years. Come on. Hit. Ready.
Now back to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And that will force a turnover on downs. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now it's Wilson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they finally get him down at the other 46. A huge play there on the screen pass. 48 yards. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46.
0-0-0.
Now Wilson. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
The Steelers 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
They'll try the left side here with Love. And he's going to get this pretty close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 36.
77 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this 1st half. Here comes 3rd and about a foot.
Spot that.
Wilson. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. They went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards, but instead, offense out there. They're going through. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here. 1st and 10.
That would give running right is Love. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best 1st half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Here's Wilson. Catch is made by Metcalf. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 19.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Good job right there.
Shotgun handoff now for Love. And just a couple of yards there down to the 17. Here's a four-receiver look now. Three of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8.
At the 17-yard line.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And he's got it. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Steelers go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points. So this offensive unit, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
He's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tommy Tremble with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Seahawks get a bit closer. Now Myers for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's now 28-14.
Makes the score Steelers 28, Seahawks 14. Michael Dixon to kick off for Seattle.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
This throw nearly intercepted. Oh, the big D lineman almost had it. But 3rd down coming up.
Backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline.
Then he's going to step out of bounds all the way down at the 20.
A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 46 yards.
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this first half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield.
On 1st down, here's Love. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game,
it'll be intercepted.
And the Seahawks are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. And they'll get him down up past the 15.
A nice throw by the rookie from Alabama. That's a 1st down.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the 1st down.
He's going to air one out. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Let's go now. Perfect. 60 Eagles. 60 Eagles. Go.
They're going to look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
70 Timberwolves. 7 Pirates.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Pass taken in. That is big tight end.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the 1st half of play.
It's a gain of 25 yards.
A pair of 1st downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44.
Back to 60.
Back to throw again.
Gets this complete to Shaheed.
Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Hold ready.
2nd and a couple.
Here we go. Set. Go 60 Vices. 60 Vices.
They'll look to throw again.
On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2.
70. 70. Ready.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
Rifles one, that's going to be intercepted. And the Steelers are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
Milrose pass. Intercepted. The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And maybe a chance for a quick completion and then a long field goal try. We'll see.
He finds his man complete. It's Love. But he is out of bounds inside the 35.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
For the field goal. A 51-yard attempt.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this will remain a 2-touchdown game. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. So time for the 2nd half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the 3rd quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Wilson. Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, after watching him ring the bell that many times and putting the ball in the end zone, throwing it, you had to figure they had to bring some type of pressure. They had to change things up on defense.
And able to get to him, put him on the ground, so maybe just something to throw him off a little bit.
Yeah, that had to feel a lot better for the defensive guys. They've been getting carved up in this one. To finally knock him on the ground and force an incompletion, that's got to be a sigh of relief.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. And they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, giving a good 10 yards on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
At their own 38-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
Let's go now.
And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Hold on a second. Was that the fullback? That was the fullback. Who says it? The slot receivers are the only guys who can catch the football and get big yardage after the catch. Really nice job there, showing good hands and an ability to get upfield.
Here's Charbonnet.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They'll set up to throw.
Out right to Smith and Jigba.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring out the 3rd down.
Gain of 4. And it's 3rd down.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Back to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 27-yard line.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
Ready? 18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. Ready, ready?
On the carry, Charbonnet.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 23, here's 2nd and 6.
Cougar 19. Come on, come on. Hit. Count. Cougar 19. Mustang 19.
Looking to throw.
That'll be taken in by Shaheed.
And able to get this done inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
That's another Seahawks 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Ready?
He'll drop to throw.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. Third quarter action in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, PA.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
They'll set up a throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this 3rd quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Staying on the ground, it's Love. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
129 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. To throw is Wilson.
Targeting the out route, and he completes this to Metcalf.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Straight ahead running. Here's Love. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
They'll run again with Love on first down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the Seahawks' 22-yard line.
Here's Wilson. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Love. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 18 yards that time to push him up 1st and goal.
It's awfully simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Throwing is Wilson. Touchdown! Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon, as his guys were able to push that lead out a bit further. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Here we go.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions. And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain. I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll look to throw here. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. That one caught. It's Horton. And they went past midfield just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. They've been burned twice already on 4th down, but the 3rd time's the charm as they keep the drive moving.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Go, ready? Cougar 19. 18, Pioneer. 79.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Throw left side complete. That's Horton. 3/4 in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
2nd down and 6 now.
Ready?
They'll drop the throw. And he's got a man. Downfield is Horton. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 21. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
1st down, Seahawks.
A run now with Charbonnet.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
Alex Highsmith simply would not be stopped on that play.
This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
Now, a lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now back to throw.
He'll try and do this himself.
And Wilson with it, complete. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season.
And the Seahawks have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And that one makes this an 11-point deficit now.
Steelers 35, Seahawks 24.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
And that is going to be incomplete as he let him a bit too much.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Cut. 380. Cut.
They'll hand it off. It's Love. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
And this is the worry because sometimes you get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
First down marker at the 31. It's 3rd down.
Four down.
Here's Wilson to throw. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Love. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a 1st down.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12.
14, fight it.
Now Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Love. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A big play that time on the catch and run. And it'll give them a fresh set of downs. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Trying to toss play to Love. And no signal yet. I don't think he got in. He didn't. They'll mark him at the 1. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1.
Here's the sneak with Wilson. And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown.
The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Steelers are on their way to a 2-0 start. So that drive there, CD, a good response, and that might be the one that gets them to the finish line, a comfortable lead.
Yeah, and that's all about not letting the team back into a game because they just gave up a touchdown. It was back to a 2-score game, and anything can happen in that situation. But instead, they came through with a really terrific drive right there that ended in 6. So you like to slam the door on teams. In this case, they're trying to lock it as well.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is caught inside the 15. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Torrey Horton with his first career NFL touchdown.
And the Seahawks are able to cut into that deficit. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Two scores down, 2 timeouts at their disposal. This is a critical onside kick. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it. The risk-reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling. And whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
They turn to Love on the handoff. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
Play action. It's Wilson. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Ricky Van Horn. And the Seahawks are right back in this football game. Well, they tried to take their shot right there, but the ball hung up a little too long, and it's intercepted.
And when you describe trying to take their shot right there, usually the ball has to be thrown on a little bit more of a line. You just mentioned it. The ball hung up there. The reaction time of the defenders, they win the day and intercept it.
They'll try and start this drive in the air.
And he's got Smith and Jigba.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. That's caught at the 25. And he's brought down after a very nice gain.
35 yards the gain there. Another first down as well.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
18, 19, Charger, 19.
They'll look to throw now on first down.
Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown.
Cam Akers.
25 yards for the touchdown.
And the Seahawks have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
So certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a two-point conversion. And no, it falls incomplete. So the two-point conversion, no good. So they got one of the two touchdowns they needed. Now for the onside kick. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it.
Onside kick recovered by the Steelers.
They'll run with Love. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Now it's Wilson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Picked up by Devin Witherspoon. And the Seahawks are right back in this football game.
Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game instead of being able to shut the door. It's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
Come on. Hey.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
Derek Harmon
in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man.
This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long.
7 Pirates.
He's back to throw.
Now he's going to step up and run.
He's going to let it fly. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining.
And that's the downside of taking these big shots because they're definitely lower percentage plays. And now you look up, and it's 4th down. So not only do you have to worry about getting big yardage, you also need to just keep the game alive.
Let's go. Panther 11, Panther 60, Panther 60.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Cut.
On the carry, it's Love.
Now he breaks free in the middle of the field.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there. 37 yards. And the Steelers will add to their 4th quarter lead.
Well, this, of course, set up by the stop a moment ago on 4th down, and now that might be the score that puts this one officially out of reach.
And it's a tough one because your hands are tied when you're losing in the 4th quarter because you know you've got to make something happen. They couldn't pick up the 1st down, and after that, the air just went right out of the balloon, and you knew you were looking at a defeated team.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage.
49. Seahawks 37. Chris Boswell to kick off for Pittsburgh.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Here's 1st and 10.
Ready? Go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
There's Tremble, the tight end.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40.
With that last completion, CD is now over 400 yards passing in the game, and quite a few of those have come via some pretty big strikes downfield. Certainly not afraid to challenge this secondary, and it's been successful.
I like your observation there, partner, because I agree. This is a group more than capable of torching a secondary any week, as evidenced by their combined stat line here. And in the time we have remaining, wouldn't shock me at all to see them take another deep shot.
Darnold to throw.
And a throw there going to be incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
Jaquan Brisker there defensively.
There it is, 4th and inches. They'll run for it with Charbonnet. And he's going to be dumped there, but he does have a 1st down.
Just enough push up front. He only needed about 6 inches. He didn't get a whole lot more than that.
No, but he made sure he got enough so they didn't have to worry about measuring it or making it even close. Ends up picking up a couple of yards in a situation, as you noted, where he only needed inches.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try to get several plays out in quick succession if they can.
And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he has got the defense so much on their heels, got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy, and what kind of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
With no timeouts left, that's a dangerous proposition.
incomplete.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Here's Darnold. That caught by Tremble.
Darnold's pass complete to Tommy Tremble. It's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down.
Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visited and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast. One team came away with a victory, even better for them.
So for the Steelers, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.